I spoke with Crystal Tai. She's an independent journalist based in Seoul and Hong Kong who writes about the fashion industry, pop culture, and social issues.
The standard of beauty in China, I think, is actually quite modern for what it is right now. So there is that ideal, widespread, Asian ideal of like pale skin. In terms of facial features, it actually follows the Korean trends quite a bit. So large eyes, a small, tall nose, small lips. And as for the body, ideally slim is the slimmer the better, basically. But this is actually quite a modern phenomenon. So if you look back to the Tang Dynasty, or even my grandmother's time, for example, I think that women were actually expected to be a bit plumper, or it was ideal for women to be slightly plumper.
What is it about this issue that caused you to really delve into it? What struck you about it?
I think for me it was a bit of culture shock coming back from, just growing up in Canada and then returning to Hong Kong and traveling to other parts of Asia. The fact that I was considered pretty thin in Canada, and then going back to Asia, I was just average, was kind of shocking. And I've definitely noticed that people remark on your size, on your appearance a lot more bluntly than they would in North America. But I think that also there has been an emergence of a body positivity movement in Asia. So I don't know if you've heard of Naomi Watanabe, but she's a plus-size comedian slash lip sync artist, performance artist from Japan. So she channels a lot of Beyonce kind of songs and routines, and she's seen as a figure for this movement. And then there's also a model called Vivian Kim from South Korea, and she's also championing body positivity in South Korea, where standards are notoriously narrow for all women.
So why hasn't the market catered to larger women yet in China? Or do you think that's something that is changing as we speak?
When I talk to my friends who are returning from overseas, overseas Chinese or expats who go to Asia, they're often very vocal about how they feel about the Asian sizes or the lack of sizes that cater to them. Whereas I think that in Asia, it's a bit more internalized. There's a bit more body shaming that's been internalized by women. And so I feel that while this population does exist, they aren't so vocal about it. And then there's also the matter of image as well. So I think that for certain brands, retailers, department stores, especially luxury brands, it's a matter of image that they want to maintain.
We've seen plus-size models in the West, and last year France actually banned unhealthy thin models. Are there plus-size models in Asia?
Yes, there are. It's an emerging phenomenon, though. So in Guangzhou especially, which is one of the manufacturing hubs of China, there is an emerging movement of plus-size modeling. And these women who started around, I'd say, the early 2010s, they can earn up to 10,000 yuan per month